Second.
All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Public address, Angie with the state tournament.
Okay, I emailed out to you guys, so we had a meeting like, what, 3 weeks ago, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, just trying to get things started for the state tournament, just so we're not behind on it. I think there was 6 of us there, 5 of us from the girls team and 1 from the boys team, so that was discouraging. So I kind of put together kind of what we understood, what we needed for possibly a budget. Of course, I didn't go too far into deep. I just kind of used some of the numbers we had from last time. I guess some of our questions, tournament directors, who's going to do that, if the board's made that decision on that. Tammy Michaels was at the meeting. She's in charge of DIBS coordinator. She said that she could put pretty much the missions, pretty much do everything on DIBS that we needed to. And then also to use like the sign up genius so we can put it out into the community too, because we know it's not just boilers, people that will need help with this. Kelsey said she would do the announcer scripts, kind of just tournament director, they in charge of the cash bag. So I did put some questions on here. I don't know if you want me to go through all these, board, or if you guys want to discuss those and get back to us so we can have another meeting. But the biggest thing is, obviously, as you guys know, we have to have programs. We do have to print them. We can have a QR code just for other ones. Our suggestion is print just the minimum that we need because they are pretty expensive. I put $2,500 in there. The reason I did that is because I went back and looked what we budgeted 2 years ago for it, and that's what we put in for that. I don't remember. Lisa, I feel like maybe you found us, whoever we printed those with, the state programs. Was it Dickens? Because somebody had to go pick them up. Yeah. So it was $2,500 we put in there for that. I did talk to Kathy. She said that we could order. She, of course, will do everything with concessions, and that she will order everything for like the refs room and the coaches' rooms, like drinks. And she said if we want to do some, she kind of said she would take care of it all. She said as long as we let her know what we need. The other big thing is that we give out bags to all of the coaches and kids, and we typically put some drinks, some snacks in there, and then we have in the past given a gift. I put in there $15 per kids. That could be high, that could be low. I guess our committee will have to decide on that. So that came out, I believe, to, let's go to the back side here, $4,000 for that. We'll also ask the chamber for the bags to put all of that in, so there shouldn't be a cost for that, but so that's where that came from. We also have to have player passes for all the kids to have. I just put in there $500. I'm assuming we can probably get Michaels to print those for, whatever we decide. They don't have to be anything fancy. I know most kids do keep them on their bags, afterwards. So we do want them to look nice, kind of thing. North Dakota ND Design said they would do the state logo and t-shirts and be in charge of all of the throwing that out there, being in charge of all of that. They also said that they would come here and sell things too, and that there would be a percentage given back to the board. So you guys have to let them know or let us know. We can let them know what you guys expect for that. So, other than that, we did talk about banquets. None of us that showed up for that meeting wants to do a banquet. I did speak to a couple board members. There wasn't any why. I think it was just Watford had always done it in the past, but when we've gone to other state tournaments, nobody else has been doing it. So it's just a lot of money, time, and extra stuff. So our vote was a no, not to do it. Obviously, if somebody wanted to take it on, that's up to the board to decide. But yeah. Vendors, we'll be looking for vendors. We understand there's a $50 fee per day for the vendors for the Rough Rider Center as acknowledged, so we'll make sure we talk to people about that. Skate sharpening, Kevin was going to get us a list of when we're doing that.
Do we need to do that all 5 days? Or
what? Skate sharpening?
Yeah.
I would think so, yeah. I mean, if somebody breaks it, have to go, I don't know, stuff happens, as we know.
We were running on the ground a lot last year.
Yeah. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 4 days, yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned vendors, they had a new rule that got emailed out, that my wife got it, saying that every vendor had to have like a $1 million insurance policy. So they were covering it. Cause that can affect the club's vending too.
I don't recall that being in there, but it was $50 per 10-foot space per day on third-party vendors. So like any design since it's for the club, I believe, or they don't count as ours. So they'll have to pay $50 to the about fire center.
But I mean, most, I would say, as in insurance, I mean, most people that have a side business, they would have insurance anyway. That's
Right.
kind of, so I would bet, so that, I guess we'll have to find that out from the rough rate.
What do you really think they're gonna be having with third-party fries?
We don't know yet. I mean, I don't know, we talked about barbers, you know, that was a big thing, kids getting their hairs cut, you know, things like that. So I mean, they would have insurance, you know, probably some clothing, things like, just something to cut. Yeah, I mean, from the excitement of our group, I don't know that we're gonna be, going all out at it, but I think there'll be something, so.
Well, whoever you talk to, just let them know that it's $50 per day
Okay.
per 10-foot space.
Okay.
For the big agreement, and they have to pay us, and then we turn around.
Pay them, okay, so we'll keep that. And then, decor, I mean, I don't think we wanna overdo it, but I do think we have to have some decor, you know? So I just put in there $500 per budget, just because I do feel like we do have a lot. We already have the 2026, and we already have numbers and things. We have a lot of stuff already here, so I did put that in there. So that was, and of course I didn't put in for the rest, because I know that's a separate pot, and I did put in there, and I can remind Aaron to make the hotel rooms and things like that for the rest, if that hasn't been done, but. And then the other thing was admission passes. Everybody buys a weekend pass. You know, we have to have a card. We talked about doing like a business card instead of something that you have to hook on you for 4 days, you know. So just kind of things, but that was like $8,000. So, and that was all just kind of putting things together. But I guess the biggest thing is tournament director, who's going to be in charge of that. You know, I know Peggy Lisa did it last time. I don't know if she would do it again. Because it's definitely, I don't know. But that's just something that you guys probably need to figure out sooner than later, because that's kind of a big job. You know, and let us know. Because I don't mind spearheading us, all of us moms meeting and getting all that lined up. You know, I'll do all of that. That's not a problem. And then the other thing was cleaning company, and it sounds like you guys already have a cleaning company. The only big question was, since the locker rooms, everybody has to move their stuff out every time, you know, that are we having a cleaning crew come in, or just kind of in between games?
It won't be between games, it'll probably come to the games.
So are we responsible for cleaning up in between?
Teams are.
The teams are, okay. So yeah, so that's it.
We still do the thing where you have a whole.
Not really.
You figure with these days.
Yeah, we'll give them as much information when they get here. I mean, as we know, the older they get, they
Well,
know.
did we do it last time and it was kind of like,
Yeah, nobody really.
Why?
Yeah, that was one task.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like, yeah.
How are you do that? Ultimately, are you asking the board to pay for any of your holders as a budget? Or are you guys looking to find donations to cover those costs?
From the last meeting that we had, everyone, I mean, that's what, no one was like, ooh, I wanna go out and ask a bunch of businesses for more money after the club has just gone out and out, you know what I mean? So I don't know, that's what we're wondering, so what the plan is.
With your guys' fundraiser that you guys are doing, at the end of it, is that going to both the teams to do something, or is that going back to the club?
I don't know, that's what we did.
We don't know.
We don't care, I mean, that's what we don't know, that's,
Winter class.
no, for this.
Tournament.
Oh.
Because we'll do a raffle or whatever, we talked about doing some, no, I mean, at the end of the year, we don't need the money, so I would say
Yeah,
go to
that's
you
what I was
guys. So all of the money that we made from a fundraiser would just go back to the club to help pay for some of this. You know? That's why if we could do the minimum on the programs, you know, just 150, 200 of them, or however many kids there are.
My
And then,
opinion would be that we approve a $10,000 budget, and then, the club covers it, because it's state, maybe it's
Yeah.
not a tournament or anything like that. And then, I recommend getting with Lori Shetler, because she did the PVP, and I know they made $10,000 out of advertising.
Okay.
So maybe you
days.
Okay. Next on how to address is Daryl's.
You wrote me a letter last week describing your new reason for not letting me coach. You said it took you 3 weeks to respond because you were conducting due diligence. I'm asking, who talked to Chris Lee? Who talked to Tori in your due diligence? Did any of you talk to any of these people in this room that are here to support me? I talked to Tori an hour ago. She supports me, as all the rest of the people in here. The entire coaching staff and the current team supports me. And she told you from the very beginning, the best thing was for me to be the head coach and for her to be the assistant. I want to make sure that you never treat a coach like this again. The way you handled this is so disappointing and disrespectful. You took a vague, untrue statement from someone and you rushed to kick me out of this program as a coach. You didn't treat me with any respect. You didn't give me a chance to defend myself. You didn't talk to my assistant coaches. Nothing. Didn't even have the courtesy to ask. I know of one complaint from last season. Okay? Joey Olsen had a complaint. We had a game in December. Tori talked to the girls about having roles the week before in practice. So, we took it into the locker room. We gave each group a role, a goal for the day, for the night, the game. We played poorly. We could see the girls were off. We find out later. I talked to Joey later on the phone about other things, and he was still mad about it because the message didn't come across to the girls the way it was intended. I explained myself to Joey. Joey texted me before I got here and said, him and Laura still support me, but they can't be here. The very next night at practice, we started practice by taking the whole team into the locker room where the coaching staff apologized for the miscommunication. We explained to them what we were trying to get them to understand, and we never did it again. Our goal in that pregame talk was to give every group a goal within that game that they could come off the ice and achieve a goal. Whether the team won or not, their small group of 3 or 5 players could win for themselves. They didn't get it. They didn't understand it. We didn't explain it well enough. That's the only complaint that I heard. That's it. Okay? The rumors, the complaints that I've heard that I told the girls that they weren't able to score, they couldn't score, or weren't good enough to score, it's ridiculous. If you'd have asked anyone in this room, they would tell you that's ridiculous. I've never told a player that they weren't good enough to score. I gave them goals that night that they could achieve. Okay? I don't ask my D group to score 5 goals. I asked them to allow a certain amount of goals. They had a goal. Okay? Go on state, we win. We knew some girls weren't happy about playing time. I was coaching for the team. I wasn't coaching for each individual player. And I wasn't taking risks that I thought were going to put in jeopardy winning a state championship. I was a head coach. I made those decisions based on a whole season of being with the team. I know those girls' strengths, weaknesses, and in that situation, I played my best players to win the game. There were complaints made directly after state, according to Corey Burnell. She discussed them with Terry and Matt. You guys know who that is. Corey took that back. She discussed them with people inside this club. Brian, I believe you're one of them. And a decision was made to make sure Tori was in the room on the staff. Brian was going to mentor me as well. Problem solved. That was the plan from the hockey group. I was approved as a coach on October 5th and removed on October 14th in executive session, and I was told on October 20th. The reason I was given was it was recommended by the state safe sport person. I was given no information. The board members told me that they weren't even told anything about what I did, only that it was recommended by the state. They didn't even know what I did. I appealed. 3 days later, no response. Terry at North Dakota Amateur Hockey Association has confirmed that the state did not and will not make coaching decisions for affiliates. I had no contact from the safe sport coordinator, the board, or hockey committee to discuss any issues as a coach last season. Since then, the whole club and community only hears about my safe sport thing. I have people looking at me and my family all over town wondering what I've done. The word safe sport came out of this room. I also hear that I get mad when other girls score. You guys know better. Never happened. If you watch me on the bench, I don't celebrate when anybody scores. A big goal in a big game, maybe. If you could hear me on the bench when my daughters score, they don't hear anything good. They hear nothing. I tell the other players, good pass. I don't know how many of you in this room have coached your own kids when they're performing very well. You don't get to praise your kids in public. They only get criticism. That's hard as a parent. You want to tell your kids how great they did, great game. You don't get to do that as a head coach. You only get to criticize them. They only get praise at home. The complaints came at the end of the year. My suspicion is their parents upset about the state tournament. I have first-hand information about parents of players that weren't on the team trying to get together and write letters to make sure I didn't coach this year. My wife and I have heard from all the 2 families that played last year, heard from them showing support for me. It means either 2 families filed 12 complaints, they're fake, or people filed complaints that weren't on the team. Your story's now changed that the state recommended me not to coach to protect the safety and well-being of the players. I still have been given no information about what I did or how I could correct it if I was able to coach again. The only thing I know from you is the letter you sent on last Monday. Anyone who coaches for a reasonable length of time has parents upset about them. The old saying is, every coach wants to coach a team of orphans. That's because there's no parents involved. By what you guys have done this year, you have given the power to fire a coach to parents that are willing to file enough complaints. So now you know, if a parent wants to get rid of a coach for whatever reason they feel is necessary, they just have to file enough complaints. You won't talk to the coach, you won't talk to the assistant coaches, you're going to hear it from one person and it's done. Don't ever treat another coach like this again. The next time someone comes into this room bulldozing you into making a decision, don't sit back and let them run over you. Ask questions. I know all of you in this room. If you actually know the story behind any of the stuff I'm being accused of, you shouldn't believe it. I'm not asking for my head coaching spot back. The girls don't need any more of this chaos and drama in their life, but I should be allowed to help any coach in this program that asks for help.
notes on the member statement that you included in the email. It includes a whole bunch of paragraphs again about safe sport and protecting the kids. And I don't think that's the issue at all. It was coaching complaints, so if you want to say that, you can send another letter for us to approve, or we will take care of that ourselves. And then we do need to know then if he's allowed to coach any team again.
We'll have to get those on there. We get answers, so we'll discuss it.
At a different meeting, or
Yeah.
how come?
It's just, we have a lot to get through, a ton to do, we have to put it on the agenda to discuss it.
But it's on the agenda tonight.
I'm speaking, not just discussing the act.
Well, if he's on the agenda, then you can discuss what the issue is.
I think Brian asked yesterday and didn't get an answer yesterday.
That's what I'm saying, so
There was another coach that asked about your services yesterday, and the answer the board decided on was communicate with that coach was no.
How come?
When the vote took place, was all coaching capabilities for the season, is what I understand.
And will we get an actual reason?
that's what we were essentially, with it's coaches code of conduct through the active physical safety boards. And we had a meeting with the state weeks ago, that's what was decided.
So how does he know, like, what he did wrong to move forward?
Ultimately, it's anonymous complaints.
So we don't need to know who submitted them, we just need to know, like,
Right.
what they were about, so that,
Jennifer
so is she coming?
has, Amy said, we meet with her,
I asked for him 3 weeks ago.
the complaints.
Yes.
I guess I'll just ask Jennifer along this next time. And that would be, we get the information on complaints, because we have.
But you're essentially in charge of her. So then,
We're at the,
Jennifer.
I'm going, I talked to Lisa about this, I'm gonna have a conversation.
For documentation.
I don't think I'm just gonna reach out to Jennifer. She hasn't said anything to me.
I reached out to you, the whole board, sent the whole thing. I appealed this decision and I asked for all the documents.
Right, none of which we had, one of which we met with the state.
You didn't have any documents when you made the vote,
We had what we had from our state.
so you don't have anything. You didn't have any documents then.
but the state sport coordinator has them. So
She does
shouldn't
now.
have to have them the night of the vote.
She didn't have
What
any of it.
did she tell you?
So at the time of the vote, you didn't have any documentation.
We had what we
They
had.
just said they didn't. They didn't have any documentation. Jennifer, the safe sport person, didn't have it. You guys didn't have it. You voted, you abstained, and
She had the
you,
quantity.
apparently you knew what it was for, but you abstained.
I didn't know what the other specifically. I knew the quantity, that's what we were told. And that we didn't.
How come there was no, like, no one thought that they should ask anyone about it? You just went basically off of 12 complaints. So what's the limit? Like, how many can I put in for someone to just get?
I don't know the answer to that question. I'm also not getting.
So you knew there were 12 complaints and that's what the vote was based on.
It was discussed in the executive session. So I can't really go into too much detail on.
But you just said you didn't have the information. You said you knew that there were 12
We had a
complaints.
recommendation and a quantity.
A recommendation from who?
The state.
The state did not
We
recommend.
have text message saying.
So he lied in his email to me.
Why?
I don't know.
Like I said, when I will have some documentation, and I'll be.
Would you be willing to share the text message
kind of put that on the table, because it definitely looks bad. I will share that.
My transparency would help.
Is the board gonna have any accountability whether a coach succeeds or fails? Don't you feel like you have some accountability for not just chair, whether he did something wrong or not, but the rest of the coaches out in this field? What if they go through the same situation this year and find themselves in the same position he is now? What is this board going to do to keep coaches on the ice and not worried about the repercussions?
I would say, Jimmy, we're looking into narrowing down and working on the grievance policy, because I think over the years, I feel like members, players, and everyone feel like when they bring things to the board that nothing gets done. So like we're tasking ourselves for making that, like, having an avenue for people to go to where everything is communicated back to us and not bypassing us and going to a state level to where we don't see that until months later.
I got a question. Do you guys do like procedures on complaints? Like first the player goes to the coach. Then if that doesn't work out, player and parent go to the coach. If that doesn't work out, do you have that?
Handbook, that's in the disciplinary.
Now with the complaints, did that transpire here?
There's two different levels of, there's two different types of complaints. You got disciplinary, you got stage sport goes to that coordinator, it's anonymous, and disciplinary, the right to make an accuser, and there are steps before it's supposed to go to the community.
And then in this situation, you also had where we were bypassing the board and the safe sport coordinator and was bringing it straight to the state level.
Yeah. Now, but we have rules. I think me and you talked about, Jamie. Safe sports is tiered. Like there's multiple things for safe sports. Is there any way we can hone that down so that we go back to the issue going directly to the coach and seeing if we can work this stuff out so it doesn't go to safe sport and
None of this
anonymous?
was safe sport. Well, that's half the problem. Half the club doesn't know the safe sport violation. It's playing time is not a safe sport violation. Safe sport is a serious incident. That there's no 24-hour grievance policy.
See,
It's an automatic thing. That's something that
and that's
somebody gets looked at on the phone in the locker room, somebody gets recorded, stuff like that, not playing time. He said this to me on the, taken on a different context. It's
Safe sport is all about abuse. And different kinds of abuse.
correct.
so then, yeah, that's a lot. If there is a disagreement or something like that, then it should be directed right. Yeah, it should be directed right at the coach, initially with the player, then with the player and parent, and then if it's still not worked out, then it goes beyond that. But for there to be just a blanket unanimous, and I don't know what was. I have no clue. The nobody does. But that's the problem with this anonymous stuff is we can't.
Everybody just throws it around.
We can't
like it's
finish multiple.
Safe sport should be a very serious thing. Whether you came to the board and over the coach and nothing's getting done, or something serious accusation.
Well, going back to the grievance policy, if we implement this and have this in place, a lot of these complaints would have went there. That's where they should have been filed and not at the state level.
Right.
So can I say something quick? So you're saying that it wasn't truly safe sport, like we're not talking abuse, like you guys have seen the list of things, and the state made a recommendation through a text message. You guys voted on it before ever knowing what was in there. Now as a board reviewing it and seeing that there's not abuse in it, that you guys can't re-look at this and consider it from a different lens. We're just gonna continue with the path that it's still safe sport, there's abuse, and you can't coach.
Well, this is what's huge. It's so many, like, when people think safe sport, they think the worst. When you go through, like, section B, C, and D, like, people look at the first 7, that's all sexual. And then you go to D and you get emotional misconduct. And it's like with reading the complaints, you could file that under there. So that's where it could be viewed as a safe sport allegation. And
You read inside emotional misconduct?
For clarification, if I may, during the Zoom call with the state, I think the state was pretty clear on the issues at hand were not safe sport issues. They were directly related to coaches' code of conduct, and that's what was being discussed. Correct.
so, no, I can't say we are working on the grievance policy so that we can have a clear path for the members to follow and get away from. I mean, I know the state told me, this has been a while ago, that of all the clubs in North Dakota, Watford City is number one with safe sport compliance. And it's everything from playing time, like whatever, and I think that us as a board, we need to.
So why isn't there more coaches fired this year then?
Do what?
Why is more coaches not fired this year?
Well, I mean,
why is Jared the only one? Or Jeff Jensen, sorry.
Well,
if we have that many safe sport complaints, and you get dealt with this one, why? I mean, I think I had a grievance filed against him last year, but why am I not? Nobody even came talking.
I would say that from the state level with what they had gotten, that due to the volume, that is what stood out.
Is it the volume from one team or all multiple teams? So just because it was multiple teams, it's just still the one that count? I mean, you get grievances from something else that he wasn't even going to coach, but then you suspend it from all?
No, they were just based, like the 12 were based off of, I would say, 2 different teams.
That's what he was the coach of, was 2 different teams. But he wasn't coaching the other team this year, you weren't gonna hire him for that anyway. So you used those against the team that he was going to coach.
I would say,
And that was the first time he coached that kind of group of kids and whatever, and maybe he wasn't good at it yet. But you based the decision off of the combined group, even though he was not going to coach that other team, and 9 of the, well, there's only 2 players that aren't in this room from last year.
I would say that I would like to, I'm gonna be here all day tomorrow. I'd like to get some time set up with you and I to set, and I think that after the conversation, there will be a lot more clarity on
Why can't we just do it now while everyone's here?
it. I would rather have that conversation with
And Chris? I mean,
you. Well, Chris can come in and sit down.
Yeah,
I think Chris would probably like to hear you.
my biggest thing is, how am I supposed to know, like, I was there for, I don't know, past however many years, how am I supposed to know what I did wrong? Why am I not on the hot seat too? If I was there and these things were happening and I let them happen, then I should be right there too.
Jamie was there for a lot of it as well, so he was on both teams. And we have never once heard from anyone that said like, hey, you know, maybe don't say it like that to them again, or you got a little too, you know, mouthy at the game. Don't yell at the refs, or don't yell at the. Do you see where the disconnect is? And I just, I'm like confident in the fact that you can go ahead and tell everyone here what it is.
Yeah, I would just feel more, I would feel more comfortable having that virtual conversation.
Because it's personal, or because you're kind of nervous because everybody's here?
No, I'm not nervous, Robert.
There
Like,
are
I would just,
coaches who are sitting here wondering the same thing because they were next to him every second.
because I would want to use this,
and
I would want to use it as, how do I put this? I would like to use this as, an opportunity to, you know, imply constructive criticism into it.
We're fine with that. We like constructive criticism.
Well, I would just say
We
for
would have
this,
taken it during the season while we coaching a state championship team and another team that we took because no one else would.
It must have been a pretty serious accusation from an anonymous person to have that so much weight over even talking to Jared and getting his word. For him not being talked to, you're taking all this from an anonymous, you don't even know who it is. Okay, that's truth, you're fired. That's not very fair. You know, it's like being guilty and then proving your innocence. Shouldn't it be the other way around?
I think, I'm gonna speak on a turn here, but in the 17 plus years that I've had kids in the program, I can guarantee every year there have been coaches that have made mistakes. But every one of them donate or volunteer a day, 6 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week and some, for 6 months of the year, to that team, to this club. And our club has grown a lot, it's come a long ways. But transparency needs to happen, because for the coaches, many of you have coached in this room. Last year we had a very few volunteers for coaching. So some of these guys did 2 and 3 teams to try to keep everything going. And got spread a little thin, but they did it. You know? Does it mean they always made the great decisions? No. Is everybody happy about playing time? Absolutely not. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you are, you're gonna have that. That's part of it. But I can tell you that 2 of my daughters were coached by Jared. One was a skater, and of course here at Rolling. But my skater, for 3 years of her 19-year career, she had a coach that didn't play her. She sat the bench 90% of the time because his daughter didn't want to be on the ice with her. And that was it. But Brady never quit. She never quit. And all the other assistant coaches, Scotty, Wyatt, some of them, they fought for her because she wanted to play. She showed up for every practice and she always put in the work. And then her senior year, Jared came in. And I tell you what, that girl got a senior year. She never would have had. She became a starter and she was rewarded for her effort. And I tell you what, that made her career for her. She didn't go on to play anywhere, nothing like that. She did do some coaching, but I'm thankful, I'm very grateful for that. Very much. And I don't want anybody, I don't think any coach should be treated the way this went down. I think it should have been handled differently, more effectively, sooner. As soon as those complaints came in, things should have been addressed. And it should have been more transparent. And I think that would be fair for anybody that wants to coach or considers coaching for the club. Because right now, there's a cloud. Because this was just too dark. No one understands it. Now, I'm not saying the girls aren't going to be successful. I'm not saying the boys aren't going to be successful. They may and they may not. It's going to be fine. The kids will get through it. But I just think that for a coaching standpoint, the parents have to be pulled back a notch. They have to be not going over everybody's head and going to state for things. That has to be addressed. I used to be on the disciplinary committee. The last year that Tom was here, everything that came through, he bypassed it and disciplinary committee didn't get into it. He bypassed all of it. It happened. And we couldn't stop it. Until he did. And then he didn't address certain things because he was going to handle it. But there are things that just went down wrong, and I don't think that was fair. It wasn't fair to him, and it wasn't fair to his family. It certainly isn't fair to the teams. So everybody that has coached here, I appreciate you. May not have always agreed with all of you. But I never beat you up, come on. I'm not too hard on you. But he taught Ray how to skate, so. He's been here forever with me, so, yeah. I I'm thankful for the club. And I wanted to see us to continue to thrive and have success. But when you take a successful team and a successful year like that, and then a week before the season starts, we're gonna take this out of the recipe and here we are. And then just leave them hanging. And no one really wanted to step into those shoes because those are some big shoes to fill. And a lot of that is because there's this cloud. Why did it happen? And I mean, I can imagine for some of the assistant coaches are looking at it going, which families, which ones did this? What was the problem? Why aren't we all being included? Why aren't we being addressed about it? And I do agree that Chris and Tori should have been talked to too.
All of us as coaches right now feel like we have a potential target on our back.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're a girls coach.
Not even, it just opens the door for everybody.
Absolutely.
All the way
It
through
doesn't
the
matter.
club. Every discussion, if you talk to any coach, I'm talking to coaches, I'm talking to Tori, I'm talking to whoever, it's like, we don't feel like this room has our back necessarily after what went down, and we have no information about it. We have no way to know, hey, maybe somebody's doing this behind our back, and all of a sudden it's gonna, pop up and, oh, no, you can't come to the rink anymore. Like, we're putting in the work, but in the back of our head, it's like, how do I know it's not gonna happen to me? I'm coaching 3 teams again this year. That's 3 times the chances that somebody's gonna not like something that I'm doing out on the ice. I'm still putting in as much effort as I can with those kids, but it's always in the back of our minds. It's always something that's coming up. So no matter what happens, it's going to be super duper important for this room to let all those coaches know. You don't necessarily have to let everybody know specific details, but just, hey, here's what happened, or there were some complaints, or whatever.
That's why I think
We
we
are-
say it now.
We're working
Why
on,
is it a constructive criticism chance?
Yeah.
That's what we wanted last year, if that's what it is.
right, we're working on policies to make sure it doesn't happen again.
So we don't have to go, you tell us, and then we have to go tell everyone, and they're getting it secondhand.
And the second part of your statement about now is that we've drug this out how many weeks now? 4 weeks. Like if you were at work, would you guys appreciate dragging something out 4 weeks that you have no idea what's going on? So you might be fired, you might not, you have no clue. Like, just resolve it quickly. There's no reason to continue to wait and just keep pushing down the road or say, hey, let's go to the next board meeting to get the next address or whatever, wait another month until December. It's like, just get it over with. Rip Band-Aids up. Club needs to heal. Chris made a perfect statement. Every coach is thinking it. I've talked to several, they all said the same thing. We don't feel supported. We don't feel like you made the correct actions on this one. Feedback wasn't given. It's like, when's the next time you guys are gonna come to us and say the same thing? And then it's a safe sport, we can't tell you.
It does feel like the bar has been lowered extremely. And I feel like there's even people in this room just looking for it. The bar's been set. This guy can't coach for this reason, and I'm looking, and I'm gonna find a reason. So, I think that's wrong, in my opinion. But,
So just let everyone know so that it comes from you.
Well, I'm just, due to the information that I have and I know, I'm sticking to my guns. I will be here all weekend. I'm gonna be here tomorrow. I would love for Jared and Chris to be here. And then if we want to put an email out after that or whatever Jared wants to do following that, that's where I want to go. We're an hour into it now. I think that could end up turning into a pretty lengthy conversation tomorrow, and that's the direction that I want.
Because of what people will think about what the reason
And
is.
so for the well-being of all involved, Jared included, I would really, I think the world of him personally, and I want to have that conversation man-to-man with him, is what I really would like. be here from,
8 AM.
I'm good with 8 AM, if you're good with 8 AM. Chris, you good with 8 AM? No? Just let me know what time and I'll make the time.
Hey, John, is that decision that you just made shared equally amongst the rest of the board members? Do they all agree with that?
Yes.
Do they all know the same thing you know?
No.
Why?
Because the safe sport stuff is.
Safe sport?
Well,
So
not
how is
the
it okay
state.
for them
It's
to
how-
maintain that? It's
excuse
reported
me. It's
because it's safe sport, reported.
It's reported through safe sport. That's the only reason why.
So that's why you can't tell us as a group.
It has nothing to, like, I don't even think that's not even, I feel more comfortable with speaking with Jared and Chris in an environment where we can actually have that conversation. That's where I'm at.
Just to report to them or have a discussion about like,
I think it would be both,
any
like,
kind of
it's like the
change
whole
that
thing,
you
just
plan.
laying it out and just saying like, this is how everything goes about.
Is that something that probably should happen before the vote?
No, this
Especially
way,
if they don't know about it.
Did the state investigate it? Because like Jared asked that question earlier, did any of you talk to people, find out, or was it anonymous text into the?
So I can anonymously
I don't know.
accuse you and you could be fired without having any investigation into what I say?
Anyone either.
correct.
So we just need to know what it is, like if it's that bad. No one can think of what was that bad. Like if Jamie doesn't know and he coached next to him and he's sitting here on this board, like what does, it seems like he would have to know something.
The board knows the volume of complaints and that the state recommended that Jared and Jeff not coach.
Yes.
The
But no one did due diligence.
the detail of well, it's hard, I mean, with everything that the club's been through over the last couple of years, if you get a recommendation from the state, you kind of want to go with it. But like the details of the complaints, the entirety of the board does not know what the detail of the complaints are.
So I just like, I still think that it should be told to this group. They're all
Is that
here,
legal?
we're all wondering,
Well, that's-
it is. If we're saying go ahead and tell us, that's perfectly fine. We need to know to go forward and all of these people want to know. So are we going to just lie about it after we hear from you because we're now uncomfortable? No. It happened. It's why you fired him. Just tell us.
I'm gonna stand firm on that. I'm gonna meet with Jared and Chris tomorrow and we're gonna have a conversation. And then if there's anything out of that I can present to the board that he's okay with us sharing with the club, if that's the route y'all wanna go, we'll go there.
I would recommend having somebody else with you. I think there should be multiple parties on both sides.
That's,
In my opinion.
if
Doesn't matter.
anything, where are you doing all?
I'm training people all day long.
I can make myself available if necessary.
Chris, Keith and Jamie have a few hours tomorrow.
I'll be here doing.
Tournament.
So,
You got any bids due tomorrow, Jamie?
no.
I just think, what's an attorney, he said, she said thing, right?
Yeah.
You're on your own.
So me, Jamie,
Three on each
Chris,
side and let
Jared.
it rip.
I don't know. Whatever time works best for you.
Chris has a little say, so.
A little later than that.
Right,
Because I'm probably gonna go home and put stuff into YouTube for the weekend later on, which reminds me,
Want to do 10 o'clock?
just so all the board is aware, the pixel lot is down in the community, so, and it won't be back up for a while.
Is it a camera issue or?
The machine, computer up there, the VPU, the hard drives.
Alright,
What do you say?
yeah, but,
Right.
thank you, Jared. September's treasurer report.
So as you know, we applied for $160,000 to the GDA. They requested our P&Ls from the last 3 years. They also requested our bank statements from the last month, so I was able to get them all that. Right now, we're currently sitting with $180,000 in our general account, $68K in our gaming, $86,000 in our trust. We have $5,860 coming out for rest this weekend. That includes 5,860. That includes 70-some wrecking spots, 76 wrecking spots, 12 mentors, and 2 mileage spots. There's the occupancy and lodging grant that I'm gonna apply for $50,000 for, that needs to be filled out by November 17th. Last year we granted $38,000. So I'm hopeful that at least they could match what they gave us last year. It's nothing about the tournaments have really changed in the marketing side of it as far as pushing for Wofford City is plastered all over our things. I also applied for the Common Phillips grant, that was $50,000, but I think I'll probably be off the board by the time we find out if we get that one. So, there's that. Did you guys have any questions for me? So it's sitting pretty good as far as our account looks, but it always looks good during the season when we get these tournaments rolling and then come summertime. So we just want to try and find a consistency, build it up, and then hopefully be able to sustain a larger amount next year.
We have a motion to approve.
Approving the finance and October there, so.
I'll motion.
Okay, I did look at them all second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have anything for safe sport or teams? This
You do like.
Yeah, committee updates. Oh, sorry. Brian, you're on the clock.
Perfect. I think the biggest thing kind of coming out of the hockey committee type thing is, currently the coaches got to talking and they put together a little bit of an initiative drive, and they're at about $7,000 in pledges to go ahead and get huddled for the state bound teams. You know, I sent over a little bit of an explanation on the different packages and the exact invoicing what it looked like. Kind of the goal is to have the money by the end of the month to at least cover the cheaper option. Wanted to see if the board had appetite to go ahead and approve, so we can get the ball rolling. Question, John?
So when we had that meeting with, what was his name? Spencer, I thought? Devin?
Yeah.
I was real. What was his, when we asked the question if you can send in rosters with last names and get the information per player, did he say that was an option?
So the in-stat portion has a ton more options on individual players versus team metrics, such as time on ice, shift length, duration, everything like that. You can break those out. Instead of having team events broken out, it's individual player events. So you could look at any individual players' game reel for shifts or individual shifts one at a time. So it's a lot more in-depth in what it offers on the per player.
So, but and I think that was part of the more expensive package.
Correct.
With that data, that would also help evaluations, like the evaluators, correct?
I think either way, it's going to provide substantially more objective information for evaluations. During the season, we can obviously assign the numbers to individual players and get get those reports done that way. But I did kind of pose the question, like, loosely, can we reapply the skill? And basically, when the film is sent out for review, the analysts and the data tracking software will just look at numbers. So as long as we have a different name number list, we can run a different group of kids through the same team while it's still being paid for. We get that data for evaluations.
Can you quickly remind me what huddles is just like practice, or do they video the games and stuff?
So we'd be taking the game footage from Pixela, and the coaches can send that footage in within 24 hours with assist. They're going to get that game film back, and it's going to be landmarked with all the different event types. And so with assist, you're going to get like power play shifts, penalty kill shifts. You're going to get goals for, goals against. You're going to get face-off stats, and all those things are going to be landmarked. And kind of depending on what type of a report you're viewing, all those individual reports directly sync to the video to which it is. So if you've got a shot map and you click on an individual dot on that shot map, it's going to take you right to that video of that shot.
And Brian, didn't it correlate to game sheet to true up the book?
So I think that the other cool thing about this, and I know I've had in my tenure plenty of controversy over players' stats and how those are interpreted, even with scorekeepers. Since you have an independent analyst and software running all of the film review, all of those stats are going to be accredited based on nobody in this association. So I think that's
so it trues up your game sheet at the end of the day.
Correct.
So just with the cost of recording, are you going to make sure the coaches are actually using it? And is there a way you can track if they're using it?
So in our database, if they're sending the film out and getting it back, they'd be adding to the database that I can use. So if I've got a coach that is not sending film out for review and getting it back, I would know about that pretty quickly.
Sam, it's super user friendly, and I feel like any like Scott Samuelson will like live on that thing.
Okay.
Like I think that all of the coaches will use it a lot.
And you said, Dave has 7,000 pledged right now. And it was 7,800, is that what?
7,800 covered assist, and it was 18,000 with exact.
As a right here, it's just one.
Correct.
More classes tomorrow, man.
Were you raising funds for this?
What's that?
Were they raising funds?
Dave was. Yeah, he's got like 7K pledged already.
But that means that annual, of course, your partner's like going to be 1 year.
And if you don't get the money next year, you don't have to pay it.
That's true.
I also think providing the resources to the coaches, I think they all have their tie-ins to individual donors, and they said, once they're using it, they're going to be like, hey, I want this again next year, and they're probably going to be going back and knocking on the same door so they're justified.
And you think the package of 78 will?
I think it was a much better spot than we're right now.
So if we wanted to make stand on it, you make a motion saying that this is like if we want a timestamp on it, you just make a motion that it's only gonna be for a year. And then it has to be reevaluated for next year, so. If that makes anybody feel more comfortable that we got the money this year, we'll reevaluate whether or not.
For practice, that's what they do it, but I'm just looking at
I watched Tim come in here try to do film the other day, but he didn't get hooked up to the TV or anything like that. The other cool thing is as you're adding your rostering, you're creating individual profiles for all of your users. So for anybody under 18, it's going to be a parent's email address associated with them. But that coach can be sending out individual clips or reviews to players digitally without having to bring everybody in.
So NDH or Team ND actually does affect, it's similar to that because they have, you have to set up its own email address and they send him video clips. And, but it's not this, it's something else, but just when he's on there, so he can watch him playing and stuff. So it's,
Yeah, you can break it out by each individual.
so the families can get the film. Okay.
I exactly how it works in the user end. It's my understanding that the coach would have to send the clips to the kids for them to have access to.
I like it.
So, we can still come in and want to do key points that he brings out, as opposed to pixel out, which is kind of lame, but then you gotta do it on your phone for the YouTube channel, I guess. You can do it on your laptop still, but it's easy to use. Cloud it like that, and key plays it on your phone.
Correct. Like, you can build your film session reel off of so many different metrics. Like, you can even say, instead of going to one game, I can say, oh, my last 5 games, I want my power plays, put all that in a playlist for me. That's what I'm gonna go for my coaching last day. Putting those sort of parameters in and creating
So
playlists.
this is more useful for you.
I think it's a tool for everybody, and it creates a lot of transparency.
Right, but it's only as good as the user. So, because if they don't put the effort and the time into learning it, and learning all the things that you know, unless you feel confident that you're gonna be able to teach.
Lisa, I figured it out during the meeting, like, it's so user-friendly,
I have not personally used the product, I'm an administrative, but, like John said, just going through the demos, it's.
So if we do this, like what I would just request from you is just, this gets talked about at every board meeting, how is it going, update me, so that we have some sort of
Up here.
documentation of how it's going.
The hockey.
It's not request, the data point, you get like 23 data points that automatically come with the film review on assist, and it's like 58 with Instat. Like I said, it's just the amount of data they're handing to you.
I don't think I'm comfortable with 18K, but.
It's not good with assist, especially since it's paid for that. There's teams that want to go out and get the extra money. I think we upgrade some packages for some of the teams.
I believe it's based on a seat or association package pricing.
Yeah, it's based on the numbers.
And maybe, go with the assist this year, see what the buy-in is from the coaches.
Was that number based on only the league teams, or was that sort of centennials?
That was only the teams that are going to be state eligible.
And then other teams want this, is this something to fill out in the fundraise for?
I don't see one.
It's gonna be a price on the side.
Oh, it goes down the more teams?
I think if the association package pricing was going to have 5, I didn't see any tiered breaks by adding more.
Where we have the top of the tier.
I think it's individual team or association pricing. And if you have 5, you qualify for association pricing.
But it's still pretty close, right? Because you're in substitute. So if you add more teams, it would cost more.
Correct.
Yeah, it's kind of the way hockey side makes some things where they play, but business side makes it.
And like I said on the email, like, it's a launching point, and I think if everybody sees the value in it, like the amount of time that Tim struggled with the TV that I watched, he probably could have sent 5 or 6 players individual clips off this platform, and that's being efficient with their volunteers' time.
So just start writing down the answer. It's like 7,800. And they have 7,000.
Last update he gave me was right around 7,000, so we'll have the remainder by the end of the month, and was wanting to see if we could just go ahead and get it taken care of.
Okay, so the request is that we just go ahead and do the order and the date we reimburse us.
Correct.
How much? For 1 year. For 1 year. For this year. Or the assist.
What do you assist?
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Wait, Spencer second?
Yep. Zip. Hockey committee, was that?
Are you done with your report?
I know I got these out kind of late because everything's been absolutely insane over the last month. In the interest of saving time, can everybody kind of skim, and if there's any crazy questions, throw them at me, and so I can answer on specific things.
Well, on my initial 2-second scale in the NHL program, how did that discussion go in regards to our service of those games throughout the season?
So they're still wanting to start negotiations with a reduced split rather than just all concessions going. I think they see the writing on the wall somewhat in terms of the sponsor money probably isn't going to be as significant as it was in events past.
I don't know how much it is, it has for, it's not small.
So, I mean, that's kind of what we're left. We talked about, they fully understand our commitment is concessions only.
So on that, I want to have a conversation before we wait for the rest of the P&Ls to come in, is they want to do a split with us on that. They want to change the split numbers from 25 across 40 each four entities to giving us a 20% split. But we need to make sure that that 20% split is a valuable split to us versus.
Why would we get a 20 and the other rest of them get more?
Because we're only doing concessions, when realistically we take no split and we will keep our concessions.
That's what we had said.
Yeah, that where they, like, so if our concessions money is 40% of the split, and we're only gonna get 20%,
Okay, and
that's
it's
not a
still,
good deal for us.
since we're on the discussion, guys, concerns that don't come through about using our gaming, they can't use our gaming, it has to be run through us.
Yeah, so that's, well, that was.
Is that on the
Well,
facility
they-
portion of it? that you
We
want?
can do it right now. I mean, it's part of the room for our business. That's part of the thing we talked about today was that they wanted to change the split. They want to use our gaming, for 50-50 and the chuck a buck.
So basically, the reduction in our workforce is examining security and goal things, and we're gonna take a 5% hit for that. That makes 0 sense.
And we still have to run their gaming.
And,
That's my point.
Yeah, we
We have to still run the game. We
and their
still run
gaming has to go through
concessions.
our account, we have to report that, so.
The only thing that we reduction in is the ZAM and the goal people and the security. But we're gonna do everything else and take a 5% hit. by reducing our
Which is all our
concessions.
members, it kind of sounded like it was the majority of our members doing all this stuff anyways. That they came and asked. Like Dave's doing the Zambi for the whole thing. Instead of their people doing it.
Well, I figured that.
Right, which we talked about. We figured out that anyway, so.
So our point was, we didn't wanna add any more stress when they shove these games down our throat to the volunteers. As you can see, with literally only one team gone for one evening this weekend, we're still not full for this winter.
We're barely 50%.
No, it's full, it's pretty full now.
It's getting closer now that we've been.
Even the community rink on Sunday?
Well, everyone waits until see when they call.
What I'm trying to make is there's literally no games outside of Kiwis, and then one man game with the track, or Devil's Lake at 7:45 p.m., which I was all right, but nobody else is playing. I think Shed's are probably full, and now we're gonna add more stress on our members for 2 more weekends, 4 more games. It ends up being, granted, the math was like 400 additional man hours. We're giving away, and we don't know what the split is. We end up coming out ahead if we just probably do concessions and keep all concessions.
The key question I had, do we know what our typical gross margin is out of concessions?
So, can you pull up Kathy's email we did last time for Walker?
Just like this last one longer.
Yeah.
Did we not get that to the Friday?
Yes,
We did.
Okay, we did.
We're not waiting, they're not waiting on us.
So we're waiting.
They're waiting on line
Lots of
us.
numbers before they can do splits. Their costs.
Yeah, see, this is.
She had it all on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I personally feel that,
So our concessions was 11,154. And, do you want our expenses?
Yeah.
Okay, so our expenses was 6,175.02. Do you want our fund, our health club and stuff that she had down?
yeah, why not?
Alright, so our 50/50 sales was 1,091. And our chunk of puck was 835, so our total income was 13,080.
13,000, so, you know, there's 13,000 right there. The biggest thing that's concerned me about the warrant offer the whole time is roughly, the financials I looked at has been $40,000 is what the GP is at the end of these things. And there's $40,000 worth of financial donors coming in. If you take the donors out of the equation, there's no money left on the table. If they don't secure the same amount in sponsorships, we're better off taking our 40% of concessions and calling it a day, but that also probably cripples the event on their end.
So, here's another side of the thing that nobody's really thinking about. We have no costs outside of the food and concessions because we do right now for free. They are paying. If the roles are worse and they start paying people who are already doing it for free, that's even worse. So that's why, in my opinion, without having undue stress, I think if they want to do that, that's not that's his own decision.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't want to get paid for his time and he wants to take care of it, like, fine, go for it. They love you for it. No big deal. I'm not gonna, in my opinion, I'm not gonna force somebody to come here and exam before every period and after four different nights, and then have a guy stand on each end, two guys stand on each end for security and the goal judges, and then two people sit at Chuck Buck 50-50 for 4 hours a night, and then another 6 in concessions for 6 hours a night, and then we're essentially giving them our profit. We're giving away money that we otherwise would be taking it all in. Because they're not making anything, and they're taking away from money. That's what it sounds like based on the P&L from previous ones. And that's before the season starts. This is in season where we got teams that are going to be out of town.
Half the teams are gone now, they'll be anyway. So it's not like they're not going to pull the ticket sales that they think they're going to, I don't think. They're not getting sponsors like they thought they were going to. And the only good thing is they don't have to pay each one of those teams $8,000 right off the top to come here. They just get a split of
I
it.
think they're still paying
That's what Sarah said, they do that for the warrant offer.
So what she's saying is they pay them $8,000 upfront to cover expenses. So when we get paid out our total to bring us to 10 or 11K, they've already been paid 8 of it, so they only get 2 or 3K on the back end.
But if it doesn't reach 8K.
That's the $1 million question.
It's not we all know that it's not.
I don't see them paying all that back. Is that, if that's what the question is?
What?
The 8K. Is that what you're trying to get at?
No, whatever the referee wants to pay those teams to come here, it's not, I don't care one way or another. I don't want our profits going to pay those teams to come here and us not getting any money out of it.
Here's another question. See, this is also a gray area for me because we should be sending them a bill for everything nice.
Nope.
Right? In theory.
They would send us a bill.
Is this something
The
we can
agreement
discuss?
very specifically says public skating currently. But then there's a vague language about another 5% deal. The problem with that, and that's why I'm at the whole time about the scheduling was, that Brian and I both discussed, was it's open-ended to be like, we just use the extra money, never have to pay you, when we pay the bill, we'll start the building. And that's what the big frustration is. It's like, then they didn't even ask us to have these 2 weekends on, and like, it just didn't make, so here.
Oh, they also want to have an open skate on Friday or some shit at 10 o'clock with the kids.
Well, I can tell you what they had as of. I think that's like tomorrow?
No, we weren't here that December
As
5th or
of
whatever.
10 days ago, maybe they got more.
At 10 a.m., like at the school?
Well, yeah, they want to go to the junior high and talk there, and then they want to have like the school kids that have an open ice time every once in a while come in and be able to skate, or if the PE classes or something, you come over and skate with them. I'm sure they'll try to work something in or something. I don't know what
That's all the original request I interpreted as a pre-game skate, so I don't know where the notion of kids being involved came from.
that's what Josh said right when we started.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
It should should be a pregame skate, right? That would make sense in life.
As of 10 days ago, they were at they're at $7,500 sponsorships. As of 10 days ago.
I need 40 times 2.
Yeah, that was 1 week. They were at, that's what they were at. And if you like, you get tickets, you know, your sponsorships, their sponsorships, some of them include like,
With the sales side of things, doesn't slouch at all.
right?
You're talking about split, that 7K is what the profit is, that's 7K is what everybody's splitting after expenses.
Yeah, 7K divided by 4. So you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the end of the day, because all they're gonna want is our concessions and stuff, I think I talked to Kathy and I explained to her like the situation we're gonna be with the outbound thing and see what her thoughts are as a concession manager, and see if she can be pulled off. Yeah. Otherwise, like, if they bring their own POS system in, like, they have to have anything to do
So
with it.
here's the thing. That, although I know it's crazy, that's like, yeah, I don't have any room all of
Well, I mean, we usually don't stock a lot of food for the, unless it's like Morning Walker, or not Morning Walker, but, our winter festivals and stuff. We usually just order for what we need for that weekend. So I don't, and we have storage downstairs to stick with food.
That's fine, I'm just saying, you have to get all there, we have to make sure it was empty.
Well, I'll talk to Kathy and see what her thoughts are on that concession side, I guess.
Maybe if she gets the help from that other group she has, maybe, I don't know, I don't really. So we can't deliver.
That would be a great weekend for them to be here.
Well, they're going to be here tomorrow night,
Yeah.
so.
But we donate to them for help too, you know, so, I mean, and now you're asking third party that we're gonna have to cut out our income if Providence does goes help, you know, if I can have it with their donation, give them last year for this upcoming next year. I just don't,
It's not a good split for us.
it's not,
It's a really bad split for us, actually.
Can we just say stick with the status quo because we don't know what the turnout's gonna be for these games?
I think the only two options are A, we do absolutely nothing at all. We don't do 50-50 chuck the puck, we don't do concessions at all, or we only do concessions.
I say we don't have any
That's it.
concessions.
And like, maybe they could bring the Legion in to do their 50-50 and all the other stuff, whatever they want to do.
yeah, they don't do that.
They have to use their game license. Well, not if we write saying no, we're not gonna
Oh, that's
be
what I
any, yeah.
Yeah.
They would use their gaming license.
Oh,
And
yeah, and I'm saying that
we're not doing it.
Yeah, you're right.
But if we do concessions only, I would be very adamant about keeping the full concessions.
Yeah, no, we would only do concessions and we keep everything. We don't split, we don't take any of theirs. If they make more money, great, we won't take any of their split. If they don't, we don't suffer. So
That's-
that's not a risk.
Well, and that's also gonna be kind of our goal. I think we have to get on the system and look and see what time to start because we're gonna have games that day. So like all our.
So they also want to know what our game schedule is for the December 5th, 6th, and then February 13th.
No, I
It looked like we didn't have anything going on at the same time.
No, not at the same time, but during that day. So all our concessions for that day is, yeah.
Are those transaction timestamps?
I think so. I can get on the system and look.
I'll tell you in 2 seconds. I have the full game sheet for me. We're looking for something. So we have no games on Friday, but we have 3 games on Saturday, 10, 2, and 12. Or 10, 12, and 2, I don't know which there is.
So we'll be done and out of here before they start on Saturday.
By a couple of months, start like 10.
5.
One of those days? Or was that?
No, that was a mistake. That was a mistake.
Like,
It's like 7. It's like 7 on Friday and 5 on Saturday or something like that.
5 is going to be extremely tight.
Yeah, it's
It's
going to be.
and it's an game for maybe 17.
I just seen it on here since we're still on hockey director. You have your camps. Robbie Mara, I know that's on off-season camp transition alliance since it's in your thing to begin scheduling. Can we just talk about that now? No, we're still on the hockey director, but he has
we keep just concession, they split whatever else, we don't care. That's the way I'm thinking, if you guys are aware of that, I'll communicate back to them. They also did say that they would do group tickets for teams. If teams wanted to buy group blocks of tickets, to watch the Warner, whoever the hell does Nylon, and whoever they are.
It's the Watford Boardball.
Yeah, whatever, I don't care what they call themselves. The two teams that are coming to play the NAHL game, if the teams wanted to get a discounted ticket, Josh said he would do discounted tickets for the teams' fans. So.
My only suggestion would
They
be,
just advertise that, what's the hell's that? That's their.
if we do this in the future, we decide to commit, we need to commit to figure out a way of making more money out of this. Like, if this is where we're gonna put our time and effort, we are gonna come up with, we're selling merch there, we're doing something, I don't know what that is, but there has to be more opportunity for us to make money out of this if we're gonna commit to it. Like,
Yeah, if we partner and brand on hoodies or.
but I don't know what that looks like because they have their stuff, but we don't have ours, so it's kind of like. So we'll have to,
That would all be happy going through them, we get the contacts for the teams.
It doesn't all go back into the same pot, so like how jersey sales, everything, all the revenue goes into the same pot, and all the costs come out, then it gets split four ways.
I know.
It's a four-way split.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to look at,
I
I wanna look at the year before though, because the year before, like, they were selling their own merch, and then, the Bismarck Bobcats were selling their own merch, and they didn't, that wasn't split equally.
It was,
I can tell them.
So they, so
they're
Bob,
supposed to give their
So the Bob-
statement as well, to back to the rough record, it's supposed to be a four-way split. Each team gets 25%, they get 25%. After that first year.
so when they were selling those blowhorns and stuff like that, they told us what they made off of those?
Supposedly. Josh said, okay. I'm not saying that's what.
I don't know,
That's why I said I would like to look at it.
I motion to ban the blowhorns.
But they didn't have them this year, I don't think.
But it's my understanding that I would send it on less expensive. It's supposed to be split.
It's not so bad.
would have a conversation this summer about splitting.
Okay. So we're still on the hockey director report, can we go to the spring summer camps and have you talked to like Mario or anyone?
I am in talks with Mario. I'm gonna be giving him a call early next week to try to firm up dates on that. My goal is to put together a full spring, summer, fall offering and have those dates solidified before the holiday break. So I was looking at the ones that we already had here last year, labor, I train, Bull Robbery, Pro-Am, Planet Hockey, trying to split those up. I think I need to talk to Robbie and see if we can get him, if he's comfortable enough going to a traditional rental next year, but I really like that timing.
Can you see, before you move your, the elevations already has on their website?
Okay. Yeah.
Do we have to do Planet Hockey?
Well, if we have summarized,
I think trying to spread out offerings and get everything about 2-3 weeks apart so that we can actually make sure we're covering the cost and make sure everything.
the problem is, although I personally am not a big fan of their program, but they were back-to-back week-long camps, so they basically would add on each other. If you keep week-long camps a month to 5 weeks apart, they're going to get a better turnout than if you did weekend camp series.
Yeah, it should be like probably 1 week-long camp and 2 weekend camps per month would kind of be the goal to fill out the programming side of things. I'd like to make the fall OPT, since we'll have a sheet of ice, stretch that out to 6 weeks to kind of match the spring OPT. That should help us kind of increase some in-house revenue on that. And then there are, apart from the ones we had last year, getting a hold of Deanie Fritchie to bring Fritchie Hockey Academy in to run either weekend or week long. Grant Springer, who's another NHL power skating coach. And then Janelle Kohinchuk is a former teammate out of Manitoba. She does all girls programming. So since we've got extra time, I'd love to bring in a girls only type camp as well. So all those things are kind of on the roadmap and trying to get dates
I
solidified.
would love for you to find a intro to checking or advanced checking games specific to, because we never had one in Bismarck.
our ice costs already. There's some concerns about the 8U division. We're talking about possibly dropping that one off because there's been no interest there. So both girls division.
You guys reached out like their last minute.
Yes, that's kind of what I keep telling her. It's like most teams don't have 8U established, so it's like.
No, and it's like, are we gonna be around for Christmas? I was really not here, trying to talk during the board meeting today, but because you guys brought it up, there is another group that does a jamboree EU, the week before, and it's half the price. So I don't know that we'll be able to really like compete with that, and most people that are gonna stay around will probably go to that. But they just made that announcement yesterday. How many teams do you have?
We don't have anybody.
None, okay.
But then again, I look at the number of kids we got out here, and there's enough kids out here to make enough 18 teams to fill the division. So.
The thing is, with the school too, their break is even shorter this year. Like it is 2 weeks.
Yeah, it
And that's
is.
it. So
Really
normally it's a little longer than that, and you probably have more fight. But people are like,
We get share too, we can even to do it. You're going to need to.
Yeah, that's all that is.
yeah. But
I think we'll get there. We're right around.
Scary. Okay. I mean, I'll get to the rest.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to get on the afterwards.
Hey, I do want to congratulate you for being selected to the, yeah. I don't know exactly what it is, but.
Alright, so I was randomly scrolling, getting used to the new portal the other day, and I saw that there's an in-person continuing education class where you were being, like a mentorship role with the National Team Development Program. Limited spots, so I put in my name and resume and wanted to see what would happen, and it actually took less than a week. I got an email back saying that I was selected for the pilot program. So January 16th to the 18th, I will be going to Plymouth, Michigan to hang out with the NTDP for those days.
You go through your long list of accomplishments.
Is this where we start playing the music where they play people off at the board?
There's one more thing that is time sensitive that I want to see if we can move forward on in some way or what people's opinions are. My wife did some digging on who we would need to contact for licensing agreements. So we're back to that type of conversation. I thought about potentially a Winter Classic type of viewing party. Maybe we make it hockey only orientated so we can remove the other half and try to take another stab at that. I was seeing if everybody would be okay if we send in the licensing request as a step one to see about feasibility.
To do the winter classic. And we should look into the Stanley Cup also.
Well, that's what we tried to do last year.
And that's what got us on
Yeah,
this.
get one and then roll the next one. And I think, I show up and watch one, make sure you can see the other people.
Do we want to do Olympics and World Juniors?
Cool.
they're by different people,
Yes.
and I cannot find the licensing agreement for them, but I already been looking.
So I'm gonna tangent a little bit here since we missed teams. And Kendra, since you're in here, you may can answer this. I know that when you were looking for extra games for the Pee Wee A, that Devil's Lake game, if I heard you correctly, you said that Devil's Lake did not have us scheduled for the day that we have on our schedule.
Correct, and Aaron did correct it. He reached out with Nikki, and Nikki reached out to somebody, and they changed it on SportsCenter.
So it's been resolved.
He did not make an announcement, it just was changed on our crossbar, but it is, it's been resolved. But I don't know, I know another parent started getting like hotel blocks,
Yeah.
so I don't know if they're aware.
Do you not watch that on the Yes, well, so I seen that email from Jennifer, who schedules our photographer?
Me.
Okay, are we gonna have a conflict, given the fact that our socks aren't gonna be in town? Is there
Who all
a-
needs new socks?
There's a bunch of kids that need socks.
I mean, I know we have socks here,
Yeah, they
but
they
just,
might not fit, but they're.
I was just saying, I was just curious if that was gonna be an issue with pictures. So I didn't know if we did move the pictures till after Thanksgiving.
Kids with good socks go to the front row, everybody else goes in the back, no one's in the socks.
Well, they don't do
Good
it that way.
individuals.
It's individual, and then she puts them all together and do a team thing. So they, I got the skates on, and she does it. It's actually
yeah, I
way better.
guess, I
Today
don't
is
know
the
if
worst
we
day
can
of all time.
reschedule theirs, and they have a ton of kids who don't have socks.
I was just thinking of all the,
Just,
I know
there's
Bantams are good, I know Junior Goats are good.
not a lot of black. I believe there's, or no, not a lot of white. There's like mediums. It might not look perfect, but just grab like one or two pair and the kids just put them on for the picture.
man, I was just trying to.
Yeah, that actually is.
That's what I'm saying, we might have to do as opposed to rescheduling.
And then she just said if anyone needs to reschedule, they need to work with her. So I'm not gonna schedule this under this right now.
Is everyone comfortable moving on to committee updates? Hockey committee.
That's where we're at.
I don't have any updates, I don't believe there's anything on our back, except for.
AQ evaluations.
Evaluations, which Ryan sent out a spreadsheet to the committee. I thought would be, if it's clear, we just delegate that to the coaches.
That's kind of what I was, they're providing a lot of feedback, and this is a process that I haven't been through, and that you guys do differently, so it's kind of deferring to Preston, the coordinator, as far as that goes, so.
Is there any kids, before we, because that is our next week, right? Is there any kids from the LTP group that you might want to ask to go to for that week? So
I
that they can
don't
be
think
available?
there has been any kids that I've seen specifically on the LTP side that I'd be asking. If anything, there's a lot of kids on the AU side that may go to the other sheet.
Which is fair, I just want to make sure that every kid gets their fair shake.
Do we need to have a formal review, or can we just take Preston's word and just check boxes saying these are the kids?
I think as long as everybody's comfortable with it, like, we can work it out with the AU coordinator and the coaches on the
I
ice.
think we should have a fair long 3-day trial.
Yeah, 3-day trial skills, put them all in line, make them stand in line, and do one skill at a time. It's gonna look great.
The only other thing hockey committee related is I wanted to get our first, hockey development meeting with all the head coaches together by end of month. That's like 30 days after season started-ish. And start getting those meetings on a regular schedule.
So, one last thing for you guys is, I know I sent a key email, for coaches, we need to get, last year I believe it was keys and fobs for heads, but assistants could get, to a certain extent, you know, not all four, one or two, just a lot, we can have, I think it was, we need to get that list over to them, or next.
Okay, so, in the
Scott's
facilities
asking
update,
about key fobs.
Yeah, let's just wait, let's go to this list.
in the facilities update, I have keys and who still has keys.
So are we good with
Still have.
hockey committee?
So that's delegated out to the facilities committee.
Well, I learned just bringing it up.
It needs to be.
It needs to get over there, so let's use head coaches.
Can you generate that list easy enough?
Well, it's, from what I understood, it was only supposed to be head coaches and then very specific assistant coaches and the head coach. So basically 2 keys per group. But when we went to the group of coaches, by the time you gave all the head coaches keys, most of the head coaches for one team are an assistant coach on the other team. And I think it's very rare that we want to have 2 sets of keys issued in each group already, just based on the head coaches having more board members that would be associated with that group. So I don't know how many others we would need to grab.
I just did a list and maybe make that.
Yeah, we'll start with the head coaches and then if there's any complaints, we can.
Yeah, the head coach is already done, submitted, and Keisha, you ready to pick up a bunch? Yes.
Issue.
Yeah, Kevin, we're just-
Moving on.
I know, I'm just
obviously I'm at 18, so lost 2 there, max of 20. The one thing I'm gonna know is I'm likely no longer doing reservations. It is gonna be a giant pain in my butt for 2 seasons. Backouts, didn't get the team I wanted. This is all stemming from Canadian teams. Didn't get the team I wanted, not the manager. Kids at a higher level now, so done with that. I'm also, based on what Canada does at us, I get backouts as well after they're paid, so I might go from 1 month out no refund to full no refund. That one I'm still debating, but the reservation one I'm going to gambling and not doing it anymore. It's a giant nightmare.
So you said all that is
Deposit.
Or do a non-refundable deposit, that's $95. So in whites, I have 9 spots out of the 30 total remaining. There's
Think you'd be able to get something for the TVs, maybe not for this class, but upcoming classes before, that way the out-of-town teams that are coming in know that there's vacancies at particular levels, and maybe they're willing to bring another team at that level.
I sent an email to about 160 contacts I have, and it changed every year. And a lot of people are like Regina, like, well, I believe if I don't do it, it's just, I've reached out to a lot of people. And he's taking, I know that, so wherever we're at.
Is that? I'm sorry. Alright. Just ready to go. Yeah, I know.
Overall, though, hopefully we get the 2 out of 96 spots. 94 and 26.
all right, equipment and jerseys.
Brody's not here, but short equipment, had a conversation with a couple of people. We are lacking goalie gear.
Did you check in the possessions thing down there?
A lot of it's
Yeah.
busted.
Yeah, a lot of it is busted. We don't have any 24-inch goalie pads. We're lacking chest protectors. We don't have any goalie greasers. The only reason I know is because I've had two or three parents come and ask for maybe goalie gear. So
Are these like for the younger ages? Like
yeah, for like the 10 to 12 inch squirts.
Quick changes?
Not the quick change stuff, like the squirt size, 10U size. We've had parents go and buy because their kid was like, hey, or they asked, the coach asked, hey, like, do you want to try out goalie? And they're like, sure. So their parent bought goalie gear. So we can expect a submittal for reimbursement on their goalie gear that they purchased. We also didn't have any wrong-handed goalie gear.
Any what?
Wrong-hand. There's right-hand and wrong-hand. We didn't have any wrong-handed goalie gear. We had a squirt goalie who was a wrong-handed. So they purchased their own gear, so their kid can play goalie for their team this year. So
Okay, so you want a motion to approve a certain amount of money for the purchase?
It already sounds like we already purchased stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is hard to move forward with, and I want to put forward the receipts, like, I'm fine with we move for this. I think we pay for it though, the equipment manager is gonna be held responsible for when this doesn't get turned back in.
So we should have here.
So we don't have
Because we did
any,
this last
as of
year.
right now in that locker room, there's no gear for any goalies.
That's what I'm saying, but how do we prevent it from happening next time if we're gonna drop?
We had 5 sets 2 years ago.
Correct.
Exactly.
And I know we found some last year, the quick change ones or whatever that they use.
So I mean, our goalie gear needs to, and I know that Pat had put in, like, he drew up what he wanted to do with the equipment room to add more storage space to that. And I think that with the goalie gear, a lot like specialty tools in our shops, like that stuff that's here, it's signed out, and that needs to be.
So families worry about the goalie gear, or do we need any more goalie gear? Is there a budget, can you look?
I'm a little frustrated because if you go buy your own stuff on your own accord, without, like, hey, should I go buy goalie gear and go to the rehearsal for say goalie gear and I'll leave it back to the club? Or did you just gotta go buy goalie gear? Because like,
The conversation.
if I buy steak and then 3 months later, I'm like, maybe I should reimburse for this, like.
The conversation that the one parent with me said that the manager would not issue goalie gear out, and wouldn't help them. So that's why they came to me, and then they brought another parent to me who was looking for goalie gear for the 10U team. I don't know.
Listen,
I guess the process wise, to say that this will be emailed to the board.
That's what the news did last year.
yes, and process is just so disastrous. Yeah, I'm not even blaming the parents, it's just frustrating that we don't have better system.
I also think once we get the equipment room finished being organized and the jersey room to have the space to store the jerseys and the goalie equipment, then we can get it in Detroit, and then I'd be looking at, hey, the club needs to purchase X, Y, and Z.
Personally, before the season started, the equipment room was pretty much organized.
It's not.
It's not now. There's equipment strung across from one side of the floor to the other. It's a mess.
Put it back in piles.
You put it back in piles?
Yeah, it's in piles.
So, I don't think there was ever an inventory done.
Who has the key to this room?
Katie, Brody, well, all of us, and Katie, Brody.
I know exactly. The kids try something else.
Jackson will have kids.
Throw it in the pile, they grab something else.
Yes, I know, but as the equipment, whoever opened that up for them, it's their responsibility, because are we not paying them or not? That's not a paid position, so.
What are the main positions?
I mean, does it need to be a paid position at this point, because we're pulling thousands of dollars worth of equipment every single year? So if I need to pay someone $2,000 to be responsible.
We need to look at some of the AU or state helmets, because there's a bunch of helmets that are out of date, that issue out as well.
And if we need to buy an inventory system, this is just things that we have to do with them, we just maybe throw. Why did we just?
The plan was to strip that down, all the screws and stuff, so we can use them when they're falling out. And before that was even.
I think we just need to list the stuff that we need.
So.
We just need to list the stuff that is gonna be that's needed, so. Over here.
Yeah, it's hard to really do much with it until we get the assessments.
Yeah.
But if the parents want to be reimbursed, they have to do that. They're gonna use that equipment.
Well, the parents that I talked to, and the parent that I know for about a year said, we'll give it back to the club and we'll get reimbursed, we don't care, because next year we're gonna get the next size up. Especially in glove and blocker and stick, because their kid's gonna grow and then donate everything back to the club.
There's not that many goalies should be able to figure this system out.
And then all the years.
I know most of the older goalies, they buy their own gear because they want really specific stuff.
Can we request that the next and then next report?
Okay.
Key notes and board.
Yeah.
Review it.
Concessions?
Nothing, our popcorn machine came today, said it wasn't supposed to be delivered till next week, and it came today, and I think JG left her consult to.
Change the blood pressure.
They had to change from a 110 outlet to a 220 outlet, so they put a new designated circuit in. I can change the 110, so and it sounds like JD covered that. So the donation.
Okay, I didn't know if James knew that or Kathy.
It's done, yeah. That's all it's
I would like to get a logo for J&J and get something on Facebook thanking them or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
That was quick,
That's
I mean, they
huge.
were here literally today, so.
Yeah,
Had it all, Lord's down, just seeing that.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have.
Fundraising and marketing?
We did our Halloween thing. It was ridiculously successful. It was insane. We went through like 900 of those trips in no time. We were out within a half an hour of the thing actually closing. So I hope we can go bigger, better next year even.
How many people were actually willing to buy?
Yeah. I mean, if you guys ever want to feel good about yourself, you do the trail of treats, because everyone was like so appreciative. They loved it. Even like the kids, they were kind of like sitting there at the beginning, and by the end, the junior goals were like handing out, these drips and like having fun. So it's like, it's really a fun experience.
And to have those older kids out there doing it.
Yeah, so we
And my mom
put
said
money in
the
the
trips
marketing.
are all over the school, the kids.
Yeah.
We're bringing their trips over to school.
Yeah. So hopefully we can do it up next week.
One other thing on this, I did speak to Lisa about this, she was in favor of it. I would like to make a motion for each team, or for each Winter Classic, that we do a Winter Classic flag raffle item. And we can just, that's just one raffle item that we give to each team to add to their.
Is that gonna be a motion?
Right now? We already gave them $500.
Yeah, but I mean, this essentially is like a swag. It's like a big neck sweatshirt.
Like a hat and a sweatshirt.
she's working on it, and then there's 12 left on community. Rivera, I believe, is the only one that's still not up yet.
Board's getting changed somehow, the logo got messed up.
Both or whatever, yeah, they gotta fix that, but, there's kind of up, Victor's waiting on new vinyl to come in. I don't get enough, because I'm gonna keep trying to sell the rest of those 12 and that last spot. If anybody else would like help, fantastic. And then Sam sent out a list of unpaid still, so maybe just before we reach out, confirm just one more time that that's up to date, and then get it in, because the two, like the ones you're going after, are still not, she has it, like, no shame, we gotta do it going.
Well, I wanna see if we're charged $250 for that, because she sent it to him herself.
That's kind of what I think.
So but she is aware that if we're charged, she's going to be charged for it. But I don't know if he was just going to.
She sells it.
No, she hasn't, but she will.
Well, and there's just a lot of goodwill, like.
What was the deadline on the flyer, early November?
No, it was October, right? I don't for sure.
So
it's in the past.
But I know she's good. I just don't know what we charge her yet.
I know Angie on call me and asked that we just send these for basic numbers.
Oh, yeah. She walked down the street.
One detail, oh, sorry, go ahead. Small detail for the facility side, if we're going to run the logos in a row like that and potentially have to cut in, it is going to be a less than ideal situation to try to land the logo in the middle, or the way they get cut in with that small of a space. So if we fill up in a row, like 1, 2, 3, leave spot 4 open, it's easy to dig the trench with the open side, we've got to go here. Trying to dig a trench deep enough to bury that logo in between two existing logos is going to be very difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, just something to consider with you.
Like Abby.
Yeah.
We're professionals now.
Should we fill those spots right away then after we?
I mean, obviously prefer to do it during installation, but
Well, what I'm saying is it easier to fill in this spot, like over here?
oh, anything that's got nothing around it's
So
way easier,
maybe
yeah.
next year we fill it in as much as we can, and then the outskirts get filled last. Yeah.
Neutrals on first type, and yeah.
Yeah, which I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
It's just, see, we have the number, but they all cost the same.
Yeah.
Although you might get,
Mike Smith's particular.
Correct.
Get it.
but I know ultimately they all get the same exposure with the same dollar value. So, whatever works best to simplify and cut it, which hopefully if I can fill that one this year, then they just continue. So, still hope that.
I didn't even realize that feedback.
Yeah.
I'm looking at how much extra away. This will be fun if we get more.
You know, and guys on the low side, that actually kind of worked out, looks like we're appropriate.
Yeah. So it really looks good.
Hey, inside.
And on that, Brian, there was on the penalty box door, there was one of the decals was peeling off. Did we get that fixed? On the answer ring, you may not can see it from here, I think it's on the red rock or, yeah, one of the, I saw it the other day, it was peeling off, and it was probably 5 or 6 inches of the corner that was peeled off.
Sarah Westhouse?
I can go down and look at
It
it.
was on the door.
Northern states just went up.
I mean, if it's peeling just in the white right now, it's probably gonna make more sense to cut it where it's at the peel line, versus trying to re-stick it.
All right, facility committee.
All right, facilities, I got lots here, okay? Okay. All right, no, you got through a scratch of the hair, right? So, Kathy Scardo brought it up to the park writer. She wants no outside food and drink signs to be put up in the building because somebody apparently brought Chinese food in the last games. I don't really care if we put no food and drink signs up. Like, I don't think it's that big of an issue. Do you guys see that people are bringing a lot of their own personal food in during games when we have concession open?
I mean, but here's the deal, unless we got security that's willing to go for somebody up and bring the food
So,
in, I mean.
Yeah,
I don't think bring it Subway, I can bring it Subway.
And some people can't eat here.
Right.
I just don't want to go down that route, but.
I don't care to put signs up for that, but she didn't want me to bring it up, and yeah, so we're not gonna put signs up. She wanted Sarah to print signs and seal them, and then she can permanently stick them up. So I'm good with not putting signs up if you guys are. Okay.
I think that would be a facility thing anyway, like,
Yeah.
but like Lisa said, some kind of.
It's not like we make or we lose a ton of money when one person brings in some food or a couple people bring in.
If she's willing, that's it, is she herself, well, I should say her, right?
Yeah,
If somebody else is willing to go, somebody be like, excuse me, I'm going to leave the building, like, I'm not. That's fine with me.
So there's enough fires right now.
Yeah. So on the keys, right? The following people still have keys that have never been checked in: Bobby Blueskin, Lori Shetler, Scotty, Wade Robinson, Doug Norby turned in his keys, but he turned in the wrong keys. He didn't turn in Rough Rider Center keys. He turned in keys to something else.
Well, how does Scott still have keys when he was just asking the group that
He probably wants his fob reactivated.
Well, because they'll turn in fob.
Yeah.
Probably will.
So and then Preston has his key and fob still. So
And they're good.
they
Still needs him, still needs him, still
Yeah.
needs him, still needs him, still needs him, doesn't need him.
right. So we only have one that doesn't need them, but they need to bring them so they can check them back into them and reactivate the fobs. And then our list of head coaches was
You just said list, and these guys haven't, they literally turned the fob on.
Yeah.
the remote.
yeah. So well, we probably need to give them because if they don't know where their keys and fobs are at, they're going to need to pay for them before they can issue the keys out.
Certainly, everybody was basically agree.
Except for apparently Doug who turned in the wrong keys.
He's got to have toward agreement with that.
So
And then I think they email the records are cleaning. Did you want to know that we gave them to the other cleaning people?
I did. So I had to get with Candy about that to go and take her keys to them so they could check them back in from the previous wall, and they can recheck them out and give her new fobs, 2 new fobs.
Okay, well, and I don't remember seeing a second key. I thought it was just one key.
There wasn't. There was only one key.
Okay.
Which they went away from that style anyway, so
Yeah.
they made new blind fobs. The coaches' keys will be ready on Monday to be picked up at the Rough Rider Park.
But from like 8 AM to 5 or something.
Yeah, like during our
Then we go to work.
yeah. Cleaning for state, I want to quote that out for the 5 days, and give everyone an opportunity for that. That's going to be late hours cleaning, especially after all games are done for the day.
I think it's getting better or worse than your standard weekend tournament. There's really there's significantly less teams than any team here in the state that are already having here this weekend.
Yeah. But to come in all 5 days versus just 4 days.
And don't need to come here and provide us with so much for this.
The cleaning company already comes in on Thursdays, so it would be Friday, Saturday. I guess I never had them quote me on Sundays because they come in Monday morning and evening.
Yeah. Which is fine. We don't need Sunday, just Friday night and Saturday night. Well, so it's raining Sunday morning.
I honestly think like again, especially you can agree with me or disagree with me, but like as a user, your expectation is that the locker rooms are structured during a league weekend. Like you're
Yes.
not expecting them to be floors pristine and perfectly clean. So if we get somebody to just run through the locker rooms with a broom and a dustpan, that's probably good enough in between cleanings for most coaches and players' experiences. Fair statement. That's probably better than most.
Okay.
My point is though, is that our current plan only has a weekend rate for tournament rates. Just stick the headache in your
Check for
Okay. We'll do that.
guys.
Oh,
Dave has to call me when you said it.
oh, okay, thank you.
All right, nets. We ordered nets.
Jamie, can Megan send your guys' logo over so we have it for like our website and stuff as a sponsor?
Did you guys put in the new power?
Yeah.
So we were gonna do a shout out and stuff.
Well, you don't have to, they're paying for it.
We would like to.
not the lights, not the lights.
Not the lights, the
concession.
concession outlet.
For coming in and
Oh,
doing.
popcorn machine?
Yeah.
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 I mean, that's not a big deal, I don't need it.
Are you
Maybe a
sure?
bag of popcorn for the test.
Free popcorn for life.
Yeah, for like.
This is for puddle. So,
order new nets, we do have an update on that. We are getting slightly different depth size. If not, it's gonna wait like 4 to 6 more weeks for them to be done powder coating. So instead of 40 inches, we're getting 44s, and they are on the way. XPO shipped them yesterday. So hopefully we'll have them in next week.
In the meantime, I went and restrung two of the nets with the existing material and had around settings to grab some extra string and redo it. They're not suitable for use before the big piece last.
The Jersey room, I forgot to mention the stuff in equipment dreams. The Jersey room, Pat's would like to get some more stuff to organize that room, do some more hanging racks, and then another large rack section. He's asking for no more than $1,000 to do a hanging system racks and buy more hangers to hang all of our jerseys on, so we have nothing in totes at the end of the day except for the tri-hopping for free.
Is this different from the lead lumber that you got donated?
Yes.
Different thing.
Yes. This is just for in the Jersey room, how we have those metal racks across, going and putting in 3 more of those big metal racks across to be able to hang up every jersey that we have.
And great for goaltending stuff.
And it's great for the goaltending.
Session space.
So $1,000 not to exceed.
Yeah, the quote's significantly less than that, but we don't have a quote for the hangers, so we'll have to order some more hangers.
Okay, I'll motion to approve not to exceed 1,000 for Jersey.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay. We have a equipment personnel thing happen. We damaged our ZAM, our level ice system. Parts quoted out at $7,500 plus tax and shipping. I'm going to motion to approve $9,500, no more than $9,500 between shipping, tax, and parts, to have those sent this way to repair our level ice system.
Can I ask what happened?
What happened? The person driving the ZAM was coming off the ice a little too fast and didn't lower the level ice system and ran it into the net at the bar. The bar that was up.
It's not that he didn't lower it, he didn't give it time to go back before he drove.
So as you put the conditioner up, right, once the conditioner starts to come up, that bar starts to come down. The conditioner wasn't up all the way, it just wasn't down all the way. He hit the end and bent the bar.
So 2 questions. I guess one, was this someone that had been certified for a while, or were they in the middle of retraining?
This is somebody who's been certified for a while and will be retrained.
Retraining, I mean, is there any responsibility to the person who's using
Well, so you're, because I agree with you, right? Because it seems to be starting to become kind of a theme. We have the sharpener situation, like what point do these people, albeit I think they're volunteers, take some accountability for damage and things like that?
I mean, the legal standard is that if an employee damages something at work, you cannot financially hold them responsible for it. No.
Is he technically, I don't know what the answer is, it's starting to be frustrating.
It's starting to become financially difficult.
Well, I think too, I know Brian had mentioned something, I mean, to avoid this and not have this happen again, I think on both rinks, we need to put a bar across here and reevaluate the net there so that there's clearance when it's coming off.
The only downside of that, John, is realistically, that's just gonna lead to the conditioner runner being the next thing that gets damaged when people come in hot.
And we've already had the conditioner ran onto the concrete once this season. So.
So what is the amount you said, $9,500?
$9,500 for.
Just for a little, like,
It's the whole actuator.
yeah, to replace the whole thing?
Think of like a hydraulic cylinder, the actual shaft that goes in the actuator.
Well, I guess we need it. So.
Yeah.
It can be used.
It can be used as is.
Until the actuator motor goes out because it's super stressed when it pushes.
Yeah.
Well, it does not sound happy pushing that bar in and out.
So it's gonna be needed sooner or later.
Yeah.
My question is, does anybody know, or you know how to drive the ZAM without it? We just got that on like a year
no more than $9,500 in exam repairs for the level light system.
I'll second.
I feel like that was the whole thing under cost for some reason.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, my last thing in the, how do I say this in very few words? We wanted to do something for,
What is that?
the level ice actuator.
You second, right? All right.
Because this is a surprise. Everybody kind of know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
You know where that normally is at. To get that, the quote was $2,000 because it has to be ordered special and from overseas from where they get it from. So temporary solution is to wrap that instead, the final wrap, until I can find somebody who is selling one for cheaper, or the company can order one in that color that goes on another, you know, when they're ordering another whatever, you know, 300 put in a different facility, and they can order an extra one for us to replace it with. So I would like to wrap it instead for this season.
You have the cost to wrap it?
It's gonna be no more than $250, and actually I think I might have enough of it.
And did you talk to the Rough Rider Center about
I talked to the Rough Rider, they were okay with it.
What's up?
So, I think I might have that. The only thing will be to have Cascade cut a name out of the different color to put on it. So, no more than $250. I don't expect it to exceed that in this year.
What's up?
So, yeah, I'm looking for over $250 to grab that.
So,
Or do we even want to do that? Are we going too far on the holidays?
What did you write there? Can I see that? What did you write over
Did you see that? Alright. That's pretty cool.
I would say after this, I'm bring yourself back.
I'm sorry. I normally don't spend this much money, but it costs a lot of money to run a facility. Sorry.
Well, I'm not talking about usage needs. So we need a motion for the wrap.
I make the motion.
Okay.
I will say.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign.
Alright, I'm done.
Can I ask a question of the facilities committee?
Yeah.
What would it take to get the ice hockey sheet whiteboards on the benches over the community?
Are those are coming, aren't they?
So, we've got cling wraps for both sides coming with the nets. They're gonna be the ones that go on the glass, so that coaches don't have to jump on the bench, so there'll be one.
Like this right behind you?
Yes, just like that I found. Yeah, there's gonna be one of those going up on a sheet of glass on each half of the rink. So if the rink's being shared, each coach has access to a whiteboard right then and there.
You know what? On that, I will ask the Rough Rider if they can provide a whiteboard for behind each one of those benches.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Did those ever get replaced last year? You know, when Pat was dealing with it, the two behind the, on the enhancement?
I know that we,
I don't think so.
Those definitely.
I thought we-
You can't erase the marker.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me take a look at it. Let me see if I can get the Rough Rider to source some new ones. If not,
Those are.
Our cleaning company used some industrial grade vinegar and
Those
those
are holding out. Sure.
there's some great things.
okay. Well, let me take
Disciplinary.
And would it be other facilities to get a whiteboard for the junior room?
You see, you're leaving before my bylaw update?
Yeah, because
What are they doing with all those?
I'm not gonna be here, so.
What are they doing with all those for the game board?
What's that?
What are they doing with 100 pair of the game board?
This is because I'm not monitoring, I have no idea.
Holy, we don't want that. What's happening?
That's Chris Martin.
What is he doing?
okay, let's keep going.
Do you want one of those movie ones like this? Cool.
Did this, no, we're almost done. We have anything on disciplinary?
You're the disciplinary.
I thought I wasn't. Thought I got removed from
Who else would be, somebody has to be on it. You're de facto every committee, so.
it. I have nothing for disciplinary. Actually, part of the bylaw time. So quick update on this. The disciplinary committee now, or the bylaw committee now consists of myself, Robin Schmidt, Ty Scarta, and Brian. And any board member that wants to attend. So what they've been tasked with right now is to true up our current bylaws to the handbook, because there's several places where they contradict themselves. Once that's done, we're going to look into our current bylaws per the state's recommendations and requests, present that to the board for approval. Following that, we're going to look into handbook revisions. Brian had already been working behind the scenes. He had pages of red lines
On that Lisa.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I will have.
So I've already sent that. Robin has all of that. Her and Ty are working in conjunction with that. We plan on meeting probably sometime next week, kind of see where we're at, and and then following that, we're going to look into the policies, kind of true up our policies on how everything goes, and that will include the grievance committee, and I hope to get something out to the board so when we have issues like we've had in the past, we can deter people from going straight to the state. We can get these things to us and be able to resolve issues in-house as best we can. So, that's my update on off-season camps as additional items. I think we've already covered that. High school hockey update. Lisa,
Real quick, yeah, she's not really involved in this, it means Sam. We met with their committee, their subcommittee, if you will, for special projects. Asked a bunch of questions, that went really well. I gave a little spiel and then answered all the questions. It sounded very promising that this is going to be moving forward. They're not doing anything this month. Lisa, there's a subcommittee one more meeting, but they don't think they need us for. It should be on December's agenda for the school board to vote on, and then we'll officially then, everything I'm hearing from other sources and talking to school members and stuff is that this is looking pretty promising.
So high school hockey 2026.
That's the anticipation. I'm not going to put a stand of guarantees and everything go with that, but
Is there a direction whether it's gonna be a two-tier system or a G?
they can't make that call. From like the class levels?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't
that's-
have to
they
say-
It's from the state.
No, they won't do it.
We have to
We
get
have to. So, we have to be, we cannot sit here and wait for others to make moves. All we're doing is waiting for, like, the people that are in this spot here, waiting for the other guy to make the moves. We just make the move,
Yep, I get it.
others will follow, and then they'll make two classes. So as far as JV, we tell them, no, send them. Because there's really not a ton of JV teams. You have to play junior gold teams anyways, to basically get your games in, here and there, like Hazen does. We're never gonna compete ever with Fargo Great Forest. It doesn't matter, they have an East and West right now. There's no reason to hold back and leave them off the table for a potential state run that you never know. Because JV don't get it.
All right, next meeting is December 9th. Do you have